now the difficulty we've got at the moment is just volume of staff, whereas before it might have been, competition still in the area. We're in a high manufacturing zone. Now it's that there just aren't the pool of people that are available now, and certainly not skilled workers. So whilst there is the T5 temporary visa for skilled workers, our workers don't come into that. But because we make handmade desserts, we really need people that have a level of skill that are able to do it, and they're just not available. And on top of that, because this is affecting the whole sector, all of our prices are going up. So we've got no workers and more expensive commodities and distribution prices.
Can we just drill down into some of the details? Because obviously you already have contracts, don't you, with suppliers, and what exactly, what levels of challenges, what difficulties are you facing?
Yeah, unfortunately, this week we're working on our crisis management plan. What if we cannot fulfill these contracts? Which are the contracts that we have to let go? Which are the customers that we have to disappoint? And how will that impact us overall as a business? So we've been growing exponentially for the last few years. We supply private label desserts to the supermarkets, and our contracts are agreed because of the product development process at least 6 months in advance, as well as the volumes. It looks at the moment that some of them may not be possible for us to fulfill, which is tricky. So yeah, we're looking this week at the crisis management, who we let down, how and when. But obviously we're looking at how to avoid that as well, by various things. We've started different kind of processes where we're talking to our competitors. So I suppose if there's any silver lining in this, is that we've got closer to some of the other manufacturers around us. That's good in some ways, but not in others, as we've learned that actually it's not just us, it is everybody. It's not an absence, it's just a shortage of workers. We are putting our wages up. We are doing that, as well as all of our own supply base putting their prices up too. So we're going to do everything we can to not have to cancel these contracts, because we hope that there will be a solution to this, and we will want to maintain those relationships for the longer term. But right now we're considering what if we can't.
Are there any solutions that you've identified? What kind of measures do you feel could help you?
And we certainly have to look internally as well as externally. We're not saying, whilst a lot of this is out of our control, there are things that we do have control over. And we are looking at, for the first time ever, for example, we're offering seasonal contracts. As I said, we've got quite a skilled business. Handmade products are more skilled, and seasonal short-term workers don't really work to our benefit, but we have to do that. So for the first time ever, we're offering summer contracts, summer work. We're increasing our pay. We're looking at other wellbeing and benefits that we can offer across the board. We're already in touch with some of the colleges with regards to the Kickstart programme and apprentices. But as I said, it's a skilled thing, and also there's machinery. So there's only so many young apprentices that you can put into that kind of manufacturing environment. You need skilled workers. So that's kind of internally what we're doing. We're marketing it in various different ways, through advertising and using our charity sponsorship partners to help us get the word out there that we're looking for work. I think essentially it's just all come as a little bit of a shock, along with COVID at the same time. Our European workforce, some of them who have been here for a very, very long time, since before the business started, they've gone home. They haven't seen or they want to go home. They haven't seen their families for such a long time, and are prepared to take the consequences of what that might mean for the summer, which leaves us really short, and there's nobody else to pull in from. So I think extending the T5 temporary workers visa to include manufacturing, and potentially to stop that from being temporary and just seasonal, would be one way. We need to kind of turn the tap on, at least for a bit, whilst we try and understand how we can encourage the domestic workforce to come back. The Home Office has said, yes, we understand, but you need to encourage domestic workforce. We're at 3.2% unemployment, disparately populated, rural area, and people aren't coming in. We're getting applicants, but then they don't turn up for interviews because perhaps, and this may be controversial, but because of the benefits policy as it stands at the moment, people aren't encouraged to come back to work. So we think maybe in the medium term there's something to do with that might be helpful. How do we encourage the people that currently aren't working to come back to work, whether they're on furlough or whether they're currently claiming benefits? There isn't any incentive for them to do that at the moment. So I think that that's obviously a wider piece and something that we don't have control over, but one that we really hope having these conversations with you and Somerset Chamber and perhaps all lobbying together is something that we can work towards.
And in terms of those that are supporting you, it's very important to really take care of them now. I'm not saying you didn't before, but now perhaps you see them in a fresher light than perhaps you did before.
Absolutely. Yeah, I suppose it's a difficult one, isn't it? You never want to say you take people for granted, but we were busy, we were growing. We had, like I said, we've had people with us for so long, since even before the business started. There's been people working on this site and that are still here now. Yeah, but you're absolutely right. You know, it's not just about attracting the staff now, it's about retaining them when we get them here. How do we do that? What do we give them that's any different to anybody else and makes them want to come back to us, even if, say, a manufacturing facility down the road is offering, you know, another 10p, 20p an hour than we are, because it is very competitive and it's getting like that at the moment. So, yeah, we're looking at how we can help with transport. As I said, we're increasing wages, we're looking at our public areas. And a general sort of well-being program as well that we're entering into. So we have to look at all of that. And I think in some ways that's positive for us for the long term. As I said, there's always going to be learnings from everything. But ultimately, we've got to get the people in first, and then we can work on keeping them here. Part of that will be training and skills. We'd love to have the opportunity to get people in on perhaps on MVQs or more advanced training programs. And then again, because then you would get the commitment for the long term as well as an end benefit for both. I think for us, it's the important message is that this is a problem that will affect everybody. As I say, we supply the supermarkets. I'm sure the majority of the listeners will shop at a supermarket, and this is going to affect you, whether it's through quality, consistency, volume, or the crunch one really, which is price. It's going to hit everybody unless we can sort this out. And I don't even think that's going to take very long because, as I said, prices are going up across the board. And if people can't pay for the commodities and they can't pay for the labour, then it's not going to exist. So I think it's really great that you're talking about it, Andrew, and I hope that we keep talking about it and that we can all look forward to going to our shops and being able to buy all our favourite things.